Alright, good afternoon, it's John McLaughlin. Welcome to another Crossfire session where currently we're trading the four pairs, the Euro CAD, the Euro USD, the GBP CAD and GBP USD. It's just gone 1 PM in the UK and we're trading the open of the New York session. So let me just show you what we do before we get started. So we're going to add the trend lines on, we're going to add the imbalance on, and we're going to go through all four pairs and just put it on step by step. Really simple and straightforward. So let's just go, and so here's a 15-minute time frame. So what we do, this is Euro CAD on the 15-minute time frame, and what I do is I get a vertical line and I'll put that on the 1300 and I'll put two trend lines just across. And what I'll do, I'll put these trend lines on in readiness. In fact, I'll put them on two. There, I need to be that long. Two trend lines in readiness for 13:15 when this candle will finish painting, and then we can add the trend lines on. So it's really simple, really straightforward. So let me just take off. So the indicators that I've got on right now are the straightforward Forex indicator that is available through our trading group. So I'll take that off. We've got the clouds anyway. The clouds are the EMAs. So it just makes it a bit cleaner, just to be able to see the charts and put the trend lines on where we want them. So that's just ready. What I'll tend to do as well is I'll just lock this off, because I have a tendency to drag stuff and take it out. So that vertical line's been dragged off. It's been locked rather. Okay, so Euro USD. We'll go and have a look at some big moves today. Look at these moves. Right. So put this on the 1300. We'll lock it off. We'll put our two trend lines on. Okay, let me just go and check something in a minute. Right, 1300. What we'll do, I'll just go through and analyse some of this price action, because it looks quite tasty today. Some big moves to the upside, some big longs, and you can see how it's pushed through the 200 moving average, pushed all the way up to the pivot point, and he's now taking out some of this imbalance. So interesting times. So GBP USD, all very similar. So we'll put the line on there, the vertical line, we'll lock it off, and we'll put a couple of, yeah, that's big enough, a couple of trend lines. Those trend lines are on the 15-minute time frame. In fact, we'll just change that one to green. There we go. Okay, let's have a look. So let's go back to Euro CAD. In fact, let me just go and check the news first. So if I go to my FX book, which is my preferred source for the news, economic calendar, click on that, and it tells us what's been going on. So obviously right now, 1 o'clock we had GBP news, just gone 1 o'clock now. So that was low impact, and we've got lots of news at 13:30 as always. There's always lots of news at 13:30. So we've got Canadian news, low, medium and high. We've got US news, which is medium impact and low impact later on. However, when you get a cluster of news, it can always have the same effect as a high impact. And remember that in the banks and the financial institutions just hide behind news to manipulate the markets. So expect anything. And this is coming up here. Look, 13:30. In fact, what I tend to do as well, I tend to just put a vertical line on there as well. No need to add the news text, but again, it just adds as an additional visual. So what I'll do as well is I like to go through and have a look at the imbalance, find out what's been going on, and sometimes we can have a look and and really sort of identify areas of interest. So if you can see this area here, in fact, let me just make that a little bit bigger just so I can see it. So I want to put imbalance on. So bottom of that wick there, just to there, look. So that's where we are right now. And I'll put the cog on, put my imbalance template on. These areas of interest here, I'm going to take these off just to make it less confusing. These areas of interest here, I suppose by rights I could keep them on. This imbalance here, that's been mitigated because it touched and it mitigated it here. So we'll take that away. Oh, keyboard stopped working again. Delightful. Right, so we haven't got any imbalance here. We've got imbalance here obviously, but we're not going to put it on because it's near the price. Do we have anything around here? Yeah, we've got imbalance here, look. Excuse me. Right, that'll do. So Euro USD, let's go and have a look at this, see what imbalance we've got going on. And again, areas of interest, let's take those. They are still going to be relevant because they're previous highs. God, blooming wireless keyboard, absolute useless. Just get one with a wire on it. Just get old school stuff. A lot easier. Right, so this is starting to mitigate this imbalance, so we'll take it out to there. Yeah, let's leave it on. I'll leave it on because it shows us what's happening with the price, with price action. That's all gone. So yeah, that's fine in terms of imbalance. As I always say, you can get indicators that give you or show you the imbalance. You can get it'll turn your candles white or whatever colour you want. Okay, but as I always say, it's always nice to learn trading, to identify different areas for yourself rather than just relying on indicators. Okay, so this imbalance here, this has all been mitigated. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that somehow. Okay, that looks okay. So we're waiting for 13:10. So we're still waiting. I'll just take the straightforward off to make it a bit cleaner, just so we can see the candles that we're going to be placing. So same with this one. So let's go and have a look at, I think a GBP CAD, yeah, GBP USD. Again, very similar patterns. Let's just have a look at this and see what we've got in the way of imbalance. Looks like we've got imbalance here. Tiny bit of imbalance here. I mean, sometimes the imbalance can be like one line, okay, but it's still relevant, so you may as well put it on. Because if you don't, I guarantee you'll be looking at the charts going, why did price do that? Why did price go to that area and stop? Right, let's just see what we've got here. to go all the way back in.
You've got mail.
I do think sometimes that trading view needs to just make a few improvements, just to make it a little bit easier, especially when you're flicking from different time frames and then you've got no idea where you are. Okay, so that'll be nice. These areas of interest, we'll take these off because I like to add them during the actual trading session. Right, 13.12. Did we have some imbalance down here somewhere? I thought we did. No, we didn't. So just imbalance there. Okay, so we'll leave it on the 15 minute because we put the trend lines on the 15 minutes. So I'll make that a bit bigger so we can see it. There we go. I'll do that with all of them just so we can see what's going on. So again, we've got some big pushes to the upside, and we've got to ask ourselves, okay, are we going to see reversals? Are we going to see potential sells? Just putting a line on that one for the news. Just going to put a line on this one for the news. It's up to you whether you do that. It's completely up to you. But I just like visual cues when I'm trading. Not too many visual cues, admittedly. You know, you don't want too many lines on your chart because it just gets confusing. And some people will put so many lines on the chart and they'll say, well, look, you know, I'll leave that one off because that doesn't really matter. It's like tomorrow. There we go. 13:30 news. 13:30 news. Right. 13:13. Yeah. So in terms of, you know, what might happen to the price, we'll look at this, and we've got some big pushes to the R2. We've still got imbalance up here, all the way up to R3, and also that may well approach these higher highs here. Okay, so depending on what price does, okay, in the session, and again we'll just analyze it step by step, see what's happening, and we'll just react accordingly. Okay, but in terms of what we've got going on, we've got the straightforward Forex, which gives us our wave ups and wave downs. We've got the PSARs, we've got the moving averages. Okay, we've got the 5, the 13, the 62, the 200 moving average, and we want those to all be in line, or at least all in order. If they're not in order, then we look for crossovers, so they are in order. And I've also got the Wadar Atar. Okay, so right, 13:15. Let's go and have a look and put these trend lines on. Okay, so what we're looking for, this is our 3000 candle. We're looking for the higher high next to it. There isn't one because this is the start of the session. Okay, so if there's no higher high at the start of the session, what we do, put our magnet tool on, and we're going to go and put it on level. Just a nice, if I'll move that out of the way. So click the trend line, hit shift, bring it down, let go of your key, let go of your mouse, let go of your shift, and it puts it on level. That's it. Okay, lower low is the one next to it. Okay, so that goes to there, and we bring this up to the bottom of the 1300 wick, and that's it. That's all we do. Those are those lines on. We then put it on the 2 minute. We then put the straightforward Forex is on, and also the clouds are on. So we'll make it a little bit bigger so we can see it, and we're ready to go. Okay, so that's so Euro CAD. Do the same with these. Oh no. Nope. Okay, so we'll just change that green. There we go. So the higher high it's the same. It's going to be horizontal. Put the magnet tool on so it gives it a bit more accuracy. Start of the session, that's the higher high, so it goes horizontal. So click it, hit shift, let go. That's it. The lower low is the one next to it, so that goes straight on there. And we bring the trend line up, quite a steep one, but that's where it goes. Bottom of that wick, that's it. Okay, so put it on for 2 minutes. We'll make sure the straightforward is on and make sure the clouds are on, and we are ready to go. As you can see, it's already started to make a move to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm expecting. Okay, magnet on, the higher high there, level, the lower low there, and so there's no wick, so we'll put it through the center of the body of the candle. And again, I'll just check there's no previous higher highs. No, there isn't. Okay, 2 minutes, straightforward on, ready to go. Already starting to make a little bit of a move to the downside. GBP CAD, similar situation. Let's just put that magnet tool goes on. There we are. We'll put this level, horizontal, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. The lower low is here, and the middle of the can, or the bottom of the wick is just there. Okay, there we go. Just here. Look. Right. Put it on a 2 minute time frame. Put the straightforward on. Make it a bit bigger so we can see it. There we go. Good. Right, GBP USD is on. Right, so the Euro CAD has started to go down already, which is nice. It's very nice, okay. But we've got the biggest thing that we've got to look at is the news here. Okay, so we don't do anything where we've got high impact news in 11 minutes time, because what will happen is they may wage the banks, the financial institutions may well try and draw you in, even draw you into a point of pushing the price up before, okay, what we call a fake out. Okay, so it tries to draw people in, people put their stop losses in, and then when it gets to the news, then the price will spike in one direction or the other and take out those stop losses, therefore liquidating the market for themselves, and they can then liquidate the market and take the price where they want to take price. So as retail traders, we just look and wait. And as you can see right now, it came down, okay, but it's starting to go kind of sideways, which is sometimes what happens before the news kicks in. We've got the Wadarata. The Wadarata is showing us that, you know, it's the explosion line is moving back towards the dead zone. We've now got a kind of a weak sell. We've got a wave down. The PSARs are on top, so it's saying sell. But right now, for me, with the news, it can do what it wants. Price can do what it wants because I'm not being manipulated by no banks. All right, same sort of thing with this one. 1330, we've got news. We've come down below the red trend line, and again with this strategy, below the red trend line, we're looking at potential sells, and the opposite, above the green trend line, we're looking at potential buys. But again, it's all potential because we've got to put all those factors, we've got to put all that information together and really look at everything as one big picture, not just one or two different things. And as I always say, get rid of any optimism bias that you may have, okay, because it serves you no good. All you need when you trade is just cold, level-headed logic, nothing else. And if you win a trade, woohoo. If you lose a trade, so what? And that's how you want to be, okay? Because all the time, the main focus that we have is protecting our account and really looking at where our stop loss is going to go. And with this strategy, we're looking at doing a 1-to-2 ratio. So can we get a 1-to-2 ratio based on our stop loss? And that's really what we're looking at, okay? So let's go move on. So Euro USD over there, GBP CAD, again, starting to push down, okay? And again, this may well push down, okay, and try and get people in, okay? And if we were to get into this, or if we were going to consider this, what would we be looking at? Well, the first thing, let me turn it off. The first thing, if there wasn't news, is where are the pitfalls? Where are the barriers? Where's the resistance? Okay, and the resistance right now, as you can see with the 13 moving average, the yellow EMA. Okay, the next level of resistance is the pivot line. Okay. And also you've got to consider that we wouldn't get in this because the PSAR is still red. I don't know where we are in terms of a wave. Okay, yeah, we're in a wave up. Okay, so there's a lot that would say initially we wouldn't even bother looking at this as a potential sell until we get a wave down. We've still got the wave up on this wave here, so it's still showing that. The PSAR is about to flip there. It's just flip, look, flip red. Okay, so it's stacking in our favor, but it's certainly not ready by any means to get in a trade, because now we've got the pivot, and that pivot line is going to be resistance. So price will bounce off, it'll break through when we go back, and then it'll bounce off. Well, certainly that's if you don't consider the news, because what happens when it gets to the news, price is going to go ballistic in one direction or the other, and that's why we stay out. Okay, until the news has died down. So this area here, okay, before the crossover, okay, this is what we call no man's land. Okay, you've got support and resistance in all directions. You've got all sorts of, I mean, look, you've got the 5 EMA, you've got the 13 EMA with the yellow. We're currently in an area of imbalance. I think that's just been mitigated. That imbalance. Okay, so that's been taken out. So price may well, I mean, obviously we've got to contend with news. Okay, so we're going to wait, but price might want to go up and take out this imbalance, or it may then want to come back down to the downside. Okay, so all kinds of things that we're going to look at. We've got the 62 moving average here, we've got the 200 moving average here. So if it came to the downside without news being there, okay, and it came to this area, we've got kind of like clean air. Okay, we've got no obstacles, we've got a nice distance away from the 200 moving average between the 62 and the 200, so we could potentially have some nice trades in there if it went to the downside, and if we didn't have news. But we do. So what do? Well, we just sit and wait. Okay, and the way I like to think of news is just like, you know, somebody with a flamethrower just waiting to set your house on fire. All right, you just want to get out. Okay, don't be in that house when it gets on fire, and certainly don't try and run in when it's on fire. Okay, if you know what you're doing, then fine. You know, if you've got the right protective equipment, you can get in there and you can do things. But I see a lot of people looking at the news and thinking there's a great opportunity, okay, to run into that fire and grab your laptop. Okay, and it's no good. Okay, you just want to stay out of it. Wait until the fire's gone down, wait until things subside, and then go in and see what you can do. Okay. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying my analogies. I hope they're actually going in. I hope you're learning something from this. Just while we're waiting, if this is the first time that you've seen the channel, if this is the first video that you've seen, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate that. And if you get some value from this or any of the videos on this channel, give us a thumbs up. Okay, and drop me a comment. Let me know if you've got any comments or any questions. Let me know by all means, because there are many different ways to trade, you know, and questions are always good. Okay, so do that. Thank you. Right, Euro USD, what we've got on there? Okay, consolidation. Usually get consolidation before high impact news. In fact, if we look at this, is it high impact? We've got 1330 high impact on the CAD. We've got high impact on the USD building permits. I'm sure that'll be interesting, and medium impact at 1330. So yeah, it's all high impact. Going to create some big volatility. I mean, look at that. There's Euro CAD, Euro USD. Pretty much the same thing going on. GBP CAD. So we've pushed away from the red trend line. We're pushing down. Okay, we've now got the wave down. We've now got red PSARs. Okay, we've now got the histogram telling us that it's a slightly stronger position for a sell. We've still got the explosion line going back towards the dead zone, which is all nice. I mean, it's wonderful. Okay, but we've got the news. And also, it's always interesting to find out what the correlation of the pivots. Okay, and it's great. It's great when you put lines on the chart and price starts respecting it. So what price is going to do now? It's going to either bounce off or it's going to break through the pivot line. And before the news, it's going to bounce off. When it gets to the news, who knows? Who knows? But you can see how it's just bouncing off because that pivot line is now resistance. So we've got 20 seconds left on this time frame before we get a new candle. So what we've got now, we've got a fight going on between the buyers and sellers, and the sellers are trying to get this price down. Okay, and who are the sellers right now? Well, potentially the sellers are the financial institutions trying to get people in, dangling that carrot, saying, look, the price is going to go down, people. People's stop losses are up here. Okay, so if I was to put a stop loss, my stop loss would be up there. Okay, so the stop loss is up here. Okay, so to illustrate the point, I could, if I could find wherever the dollar is. Oh, I can't find it. Wherever it is, okay, money's up here. All right, and money is down here. All right, so I can guarantee. Well, I can't guarantee, but I'll say what may well happen. They're trying to push the price down. Some retail traders with less experience will be going in for the sell. Okay, and when we get to this high impact news, price will potentially spike up to about here. In fact, let's just see where we're going. So if I was to put, let's turn that off. If I was to put a stop loss on, my stop loss would be here. Okay, so potentially we're looking at price. Can I get my there we are, to go to about here, right? Spike up to here and then level off, and then price will do whatever it wants. Okay, then it'll level off, but I guarantee it'll spike up to there, and then I reckon it'll come to the downside. Okay, let's just take that wonderful illustration off. Right, so we've got how many seconds have we got left? Oh, let's stay on this. Let's stay on this and see what happens. 10 seconds left before the news kicks in, and we'll see. No, just pushed it straight down. Interesting. But on that move, what have we got? 35 pips. Okay, so when you bear in mind that it takes $10 million to move a pair or currency 1 pip, you can imagine what's gone into that. Okay, a lot of cash. Okay, yeah, I thought it might have gone up and taken out these stop losses, but it hasn't. So that's interesting. So what do we do right now? All we do is we sit and wait. Okay, and you see how it's come down to the 200 moving average. And what I always like to do as well is sometimes the 200 moving average can be, depending on where it is, can be a nice take profit level. Okay, depending on where it is. Sometimes you want price to break out of the 200 and go to a different area. But let's have a look at some more. So Euro CAD, that's done obviously the same. Okay. Price just went straight down. So if you were in a sell on this, you could have done very well, very quickly. Okay, but would you be trading or would you be gambling at that point? Okay, and that's what you've got to ask yourself. And the trouble is, if you do that, if you're in a trade, okay, let's say you're in Euro CAD and you go, right, I'm going to go for the sell, and you went, yes, it went for the sell. What great trader am I? okay? And a lot of people get really hoodwinked thinking they're a great trader when really they're just gamblers, okay? And that can bite people big time, you know, in the long run. So you've got to really look at, it's better to be out of a trade, okay, wishing you were in, rather than being in a trade going, my account's almost blown. Okay, you don't want to be in that position, okay, ever. Okay, so Euro USD, nothing, didn't do anything. That's weird. High impact news on the USD didn't do anything. And GBP CAD, obviously the CAD reacted quite significantly. GBP USD, it's like, what's the news? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, very, very strange. Push price down, but nothing much else. So as you can see, with that push, okay, the Wadarata, okay, the explosion line started moving away from the dead zone. Okay, so that's a positive step in terms of the Wadarata. Okay, we've got the dark red histogram. Okay, obviously now it's slightly salmony red, so obviously that's showing as it's slowing down or weakening off. But we're still, you know, the flames are still a bit dangerous in terms of trading, so we just want to be staying away from this. In terms of our strategy, I mean, like we're miles away from our trend line. We've got the wave down, we've got the PSAR flip. Everything is right for us. And at this stage, okay, you could say price may well come down to this pivot line. Okay, and if it does, take the magnet off. So if it does, okay, down to the pivot line, we've got 17 pips. So potentially we've got a nice trade. However, you've got to remember that this is manipulation. So it's not a true representation of the actual markets. However, if we were to do this, if we were to short this, where would our, see, I would probably want to go to some significant level, which would be above the 200 moving average, which then gives me 18 pip stop loss, which is too much. Okay, then if we come down to, I mean, our usual stop loss on this strategy is about 7. That's way too tight. Okay, and you end up stopping out, getting stopped out. So we want a 1-to-2 ratio is where we want to be, and you can see it goes past the pivot line. Okay, so price will generally hit the pivot line like it does around here. Okay, it may well push through to take out the imbalance, and it may well even go further down. Okay, but for me right now, with my conservative head on, the numbers don't work. Okay, because you want your stop loss up here, and if you were to get a 1-to-2 with this, all right, 1 to 2.01. Okay, it takes it down to here, which doesn't really work. Okay, so what do? We wait for the right setup. We don't get in a trade just because you've got some nice red candles and just because everything is in our favor. Okay, and one of the things that I don't often say is, like, how do you feel about this trade? How do you feel about it? Well, right now it's been manipulated. The price has been manipulated, and this is still a side effect of that manipulation. And what could happen is price could end up going straight back up. Okay, so it's not really a true representation of the market. And that's really what I do. If I'm going to get into a trade, do the numbers work? Okay, and that's really what you want to be doing in every trade that you do. Do the numbers work? What's my stop loss? Is that an acceptable stop loss? Can I get a 1-to-2 ratio? Can I get my take profit based on conservative areas? Okay, so if I was to take a take profit at the pivot line, okay, I wouldn't take it to the pivot line. Okay, I'll take it above the pivot line. See this area of interest here? I'll take it there. Okay, and that's the way I do things, conservatively. That's the way you want to do things as well. Alright, nothing happening here. Euro USD, okay, sideways rotation, nothing else on the news, is there? So we've got 1330, 1355. It's a weird time. Red book year on year in 17 minutes, and then at 1500 we've got a bit, or 1530 we've got a bit more news. So 1355. So we've got to be mindful of that as well. Alright, so this is the pound US dollar. Let me just get that 1355 on. It's 55, so it's odd numbers, so we need to go to the odd time frame. 1355, put it back on the 2 minutes. So what you can see here is that the price has gone above the green trend line, and we've also got some air. Okay, what I mean by air is that we've got a gap in between. Have we got a gap? Yeah, okay, we've got a gap now. We've got a gap now in between the trend line and the candle. Okay, and what this means is that we've got some clear air. Okay, so we've got clear air between here and this imbalance. Okay, which is good news for us. Now the next thing I want to be looking at is where the next, or where are the previous higher highs. Okay, so we've got this area here, see that, and it's a little bit there, just below the imbalance. We've got imbalance here. Okay, so let me show you this. So these are the previous highs. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at, this area here. So it went, I'll just take it backwards, up to the top, down to the bottom, and then up to the top again. So this area is kind of an area of interest, but if we put that area of interest conservatively on that area there, see where it wicked here? So it wicked here, there, yeah, wicked all the way there. There's the body. Okay, if you can just see that, you might have to put, you're gonna have to put this on big. Okay, but there it went to the body. Okay, and there it went, the body just went past it. But again, that's a nice conservative area for a potential take profit. And you can see how price is just, the volume has just gone out of it. However, if we were to take a trade on this, we would have somewhere in the region of 11 pips to there and 15 pips to the imbalance. But see, right now the volume's gone. Okay, look at that candle, flat, this candle flat. Okay, it may well move up, and the Wadarata, okay, the explosion line is outside of a dead zone, but the actual volume is inside the dead zone. So it's not ready yet. That's what I'm saying. Right, GBP CAD. Okay, so you see this? See where it is now, where price is now? Or this area here? What's going on there? Why is price going to there? Okay, well, let's go left. Let's go left and see what's going on. Right. So previous highs here, kind of previous highs here, previous highs there. Look, see how price respected it. So if we were to put an area of interest on here, if we just put that on there, look, put a line on, you can see where price spiked up to it. Okay, it came up to it, came up to it, came up to it, came down to it. Okay, it's a significant area. Okay, and price is doing the same. It's doing the same thing. Okay, so now price is coming out of there. okay? And ideally, if we get past the 200 moving average, then we might want to consider a trade down to the pivot. It's a little bit tight, okay? And really what you're doing is you're just kind of getting the sweepings off the floor after the price manipulation, but you could probably get a trade out of that. And again, see how price came down to the 200 moving average? Obviously that was the news, but it came down to it again, okay? Chances are it'll come down to it again, and it's either going to bounce or break. Price is going to do two things, okay? So what's it going to do now? Thinking about it. It's bouncing off the 200. And if we look at this, we say, okay, maybe price can come down to this pivot line, okay, because that's an area there. You see, it's an area of interest. Bounce, bounce, bounce. And then you've got to see, well, where's the next one? Have we got any imbalance in here? Okay, have we got anything? I reckon we've got a little bit of imbalance there. Look. No, we haven't got any imbalance there. But it looks like price wants to break through. So if you were to put we'd short the position. Short it here. Okay. Where's the stop loss going to be? Stop loss is going to be above here? I don't think so. Not at 29 pips. What about the top of this wick? Okay, 21 pips. Still too much. And then we want a 1 to 2. Okay. Do the numbers work? No. And we did this before. Okay. Where we either put we could maybe put it at the top of this significant area. Okay, that line that we put. We could put it above there. Okay. And then our 1 to 2 is still too tight. Still too tight, look. Yeah, we could maybe go down to this area. Okay. And I'll leave that on just for illustration purposes, but it doesn't really inspire me with much confidence because of this news. It's kind of knocked everything out of kilter. Okay, let's just move that across and just see what would happen. What would or could have happened. But again, where are you taking profit to? Okay, middle of nowhere. Okay, this is a significant area. Okay, this area is significant. So is that, obviously the pivot lines, but this is the middle of nowhere. So if you're taking a trade and your take profit and stop loss are kind of in the middle of nowhere, again, what are you basing your opinion on? What are you basing your decision on? Hope? Fairy dust? You know? And you could get into a position where you go, yeah, okay, it's going to go down, and that confirms a bad decision. Okay, so you become a bad trader because you win because of luck than judgment. All right, so this is not a confident trade, and it's not one that I would ever get into. Might well go down, it might win, okay, but if it does, it's just, like I say, luck, and that ain't something that you want. Right, pound US dollar, what's that doing? It's kind of meandering sideways, not doing a huge amount. If we're going to go up, if we're going to take longs on this, if we're looking at sells, well, let me say that again. If we're going to looking at buys, okay, the green candle is going to go past this trend line, which is resistance, okay, and then the red trend line is going to be resistance, and then we're going to end up if we get to here, okay, and we start making a move upwards, then we can look. But there's a lot of things in the way, a lot of obstacles in the way. Ideally, what I would like to wait for price to come down and then get into somewhere around here and start making a move down, because there's nice clear air. But we haven't got that right now. We've got just a traffic jam, just congestion. Nothing's really happening. Okay. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the pound CAD. This is the one that we just had a look at. Pound USD, again, same situation, congestion. We've got resistance from the two trend lines, and as you can see right now, it's bouncing off the red trend line, but it'll probably bounce, or it may well bounce off the green trend line as well. So we're just waiting for this. Okay, so look at Euro CAD. Euro CAD would have been there. Euro USD. Nothing really much happening. And what you'll find as well is that on the run up to a weekend, you'll get, usually on a Friday, you get quite peaks of volatility where you get news, and you also get they want to balance the books, if you like, before the weekend. Okay, that can always be Fridays can always be interesting. However, what I was going to say is right now on the 19th of December, okay, and how many people have already knocked off for Christmas? Okay, so you're going to get this lethargic kind of lack of any real action because there's not a huge lot of volume in the market. There's still things going on, obviously, as I've shown you, but typically there's less volume in the markets because of the time of year. And that can be something else that you've got to take into consideration. Right, what have we got now? GBP CAD, what's that doing? It's still going to the downside, but it'll be interesting to see what price does at this pivot line, whether it bounces or breaks. If we look at previous price action, it may, yeah, I mean, it could well go down to this pivot line. Okay, it could even continue down to this pivot line to create a double low. Okay. GBP USD, nothing. See how it bounced off? Went up to that trend line, it bounced off. And I say your price is going to do one or two things, going to bounce or break. Okay, so what you've got here is you've got price bouncing off the red trend line, you've got price bouncing down, bouncing onto the green trend line, bouncing back up. Okay, so you've got to say, okay, what's going to happen? Well, we've currently got a wave up, okay, so it's telling us look out for potential buys. We've got the PSAR is green, the Wadarata is telling us no, telling us look for, or the histogram at least, low volume on the sells. Explosion line is kind of away from the dead zone, but it's neutral, it's kind of going across. So nothing is happening. Nothing at all, nothing is happening. Let's look at Euro CAD again. So there's our area of interest that we put on previously. Remember this one? We put on all the way across there. And again, the thing is with these areas of interest, I remember watching a guy that I learned from many years ago, and he was putting trend lines on, and I said, how do you know where to put the trend lines? And he was saying you just get better with experience, you just kind of learn as you do more of them. So with these areas of interest, the more you put on, the more you trade, the more time you spend on the charts, the better you're going to get. All right, so you've got to spend time on the charts, you've got to put lines on, you've got to put your trend lines on, and just find out where price respects the price, okay, and you'll get better at putting it on. And when price then respects the line that you put on, okay, like this, okay, it gives you confidence in your ability, not just to trade, but to assess and analyze the markets. And that really is important, because if you can assess and analyze the markets, aside from putting 100 different indicators on, anyone can put an indicator on, okay, and look at 1,000 lines on a chart, but you've got to interpret what that means, and you've got to really understand. It's like learning a language, okay? You either interpret, from French into English and then speak, or you actually understand the language and you speak it slightly more fluently. And that's the level you want to be at when you're trading. You want to be to be able to get fluent. You're not going to be. It's going to take a long time to trade. To learn to trade takes a long time, and the majority of people just don't have the patience. So if you want to trade full time, if you want to get a funded account, if you want to make this your career and become financially independent, you've got to put the time in. Okay, never expect anything. I mean, I'm an online business owner. I've been doing that for, I don't know, I got my first website in 1999. So I kind of started then, even though I didn't know what I was doing. But it takes a long time to learn. Anything worth learning takes a while. Okay, never let anyone tell you that it's easy or quick or anything else. Some things are, but overall, the big picture, sometimes like an online business can be like learning French. We know a little bit. The words are kind of similar. It's not too bad. When we learn Forex, it's like learning Chinese. You ain't got a clue what the words are or what anyone's saying. Okay, so you just need to take the time to learn, and apply, and take away from. Oh, while I'm chatting, I'll just go have a quick look round. Okay, so while you're learning, get away from the fact that you're going to earn money with this. See this as an apprenticeship. Okay. Learn to manage an account. Learn to understand stop losses. Learn to, put the right lot size on. Learn what it means to only risk 1% or 0.5% or whatever. Okay. And get familiar with the numbers. Because what happens is, if people go in with the intention of saying, wow, I can make $1,000 a day by trading, that's fantastic. Trading is my new thing. I've found my new thing, trading. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. You're gonna fall flat, because you'll be so upset by your expectations, because profit is the last thing you want to be thinking about. If you manage your account properly and you understand your strategy and you just do it on repetition, the money comes as a result of understanding market structure, market price, of protecting your account and mitigating your losses. Okay. Well, it's a little bit flat today. And here's something else as well. You get some people who go, well, today is my trade. I've got a trade today. I need to take a trade. Okay. It's better to walk away from the markets and go, nah, there was nothing going on today. See, look at this. This was that trade that I wouldn't have put on, and it's now into consolidation. Okay. So what happens after consolidation? We normally get a push in one direction or the other. Okay. So again, we've got to be mindful of that. I mean, yeah, okay. If we look at this, we're still in profit, but you've got to ask yourself, why are we in profit? Okay, we're in profit because not because it was a great trade, not because we made a great decision. It's in profit just because it's in profit, because we got lucky. Okay, and if you start trading like this, then you will not last the course, because it's too much stress on your brain. A lot of people who start trading, you can trade on a demo account, everything's fine. Demo account, yeah, click, here we go. Ooh, look at that one, that one. You know, and we don't have any emotional content, skin in the game, whatever you want to call it, attachment. We don't have any emotional attachment to a demo account. But as soon as you put your own money in an account, oh, I'll tell you, you've got some attachment to that, money. Okay, it suddenly becomes very real and very different indeed. And you're going, have I really got my stop loss in the right place? Is this trade a good trade or a bad trade? And what did John say about gambling? Okay, so you've got to do both. You've got to do a demo account until you get consistent. Okay, then just put a small amount of money, and you don't have to, remember, it's not about making money, it's about becoming a good trader. Okay, so if you risk 0.5%, 0.25% of your account, and you're trading with pennies, it's much better to do that than blow your account. Okay, GBP USD, sideways rotation, nothing really happening. You can see what happened earlier. This was 12 o'clock this afternoon, UK time. Price went up and up and up and up and up and up. Okay, that was really nice. So at 12 o'clock was there. So we had GBP news at 10 o'clock. So look at the GBP CAD. So there's the news at 10 o'clock. Nothing really happened at all. Kind of went sideways. Went up a little bit more. Okay, what's this? Is 12.34. Excuse me. GBP USD. Yeah. Oh, 8 o'clock this morning. So we've got a decent push to the upside. I think we've got the upside move on there is about 90 pips, I think. If we take it from about here. Yeah. 87 pips. So it's a nice move. But again, it doesn't really matter, because if you're trading a particular strategy and you're going, well, yeah, but that strategy that they were on earlier and they took loads of pips. Okay. And this is another issue that affects new traders. Is I almost call it like the whale watching scenario. Excuse me, let me finish this. So I remember years ago I was whale watching in New England, and it was glorious. And I was sat on the right side. What's the right side? Is that starboard? I think that's starboard. On the starboard side of the vessel, all open top, looking out, beautiful, calm, beautiful. I mean, New England's just beautiful anyway. Lovely blue sky, blue sea, lovely. And we're out there whale watching, and to the port side, on the other side of the ship, there was a whale just surfaced, and everybody ran from where I was and where they were to the other side. Okay, and then of course it disappeared. Okay, and then like a few seconds later, it went under the ship, under the boat, and went on the other side. So everybody ran the other side. Okay, and then people were doing this until they realised, hang on, why don't we just stay where we are, and we'll see it whenever it comes round. Okay, and this is the same with with strategies. Forex trading strategies. People go from strategy to strategy to strategy because they think they're missing out by not doing every single strategy. And I tell you what, it's going to bite you. It really is. If you go from strategy to strategy, number one, it takes time for your brain to adjust if you're just getting started, and you'll never get any consistency of wins, consistency of the whole strategy. Okay, and it's painful, and it won't take you a few months to learn Forex. It will take you years, because you'll be constantly going from one thing to the next, and you'll be constantly going, what's the next best thing? Okay, and I've done this in the past, where I've been doing strategies like this that are nice, consistent. I know how to make money with this strategy. and I've gone, right, okay, well that's okay, so let me check another strategy out, okay, and this other strategy is going to make me more money, okay, and it doesn't, because you lose momentum with your existing strategy. You're trying to learn new strategies, and you end up confused. So never chase somebody else's dream. Okay, somebody else is making loads of pips with their strategy, then fine. Okay, if that strategy resonates with you and it's a better strategy, then use it, but just use one. And then when you get proficient with one, and you can sit at the charts and you can make money and you can read the charts and everything's fine, and you've got the capacity to do two strategies without affecting your original strategy, go and do it. But just don't be in a position. So many people are doing this. When it comes to online businesses, they're chasing every old bit of rubbish out there because they think whatever they're looking at is better than what they're doing. Okay, and it keeps people broke, it keeps people frustrated, and that's when people go, oh yeah, I tried that Forex thing, a lot of rubbish. Okay, so just do one thing, just please. It's like you don't have 2 or 3 different careers, do you? Most people have one. Okay, at any one time anyway. Right, God, I'm doing a lot of yakking today. Let's have a look. So Euro CAD, okay, what's that doing? So Euro CAD's going back up. Okay, interesting. So you can see the moving averages. Got a nice bit of separation on the moving averages. Okay, so we've got the 200, the 62. We've got kind of, well, let's see where price is now. So where price is now, we've got the white, okay, which is the 5. We've got the 13. Sorry about that. So let me take that out of the way. That's it. The 5, the 13, the 200, and the 62. So see how it's all in the wrong order, and we've got all this crossover going on. Okay. So what we want is the moving averages to be in the order of the trade. Okay, if the trade's going for a buy, we want them to be in order. Okay, and they're not currently. Okay, so currently we've got a wave up. We've got the wave up on here. The Wadarata is showing as wave up, but the explosion line is going back towards a dead zone, and we're nowhere near our trend line. Okay, so we're just going to leave that for now. Nothing really happening on that one. And again, we don't really chase anything. Right, nothing happening there. Sideways rotation. You can see how very little on the histogram, how very little volume there is in the market right now. Yeah, that's pound Canadian dollar. Okay, doing the same thing as the other one. GBP USD. Again, just sideways rotation. Okay, nothing really much happening. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with this strategy as well is that you want to be mindful of the fact that the strategy is still relevant kind of into the late afternoon, very early evening. So you can take trades up till then. We used to say it's just like 1 till 3, but we've noticed that, trades do carry on, and we can take opportunities a bit later. So yeah, but you might find with this, that price wants to go back up to the pivot. So we've got areas of interest here, okay, at these highs. Okay, so again, where would we put these? Where would we put the area of interest? Well, what I would do is, if I'm looking for a potential buy on this, I wouldn't put it. See right there, it's the top of the wick. Would never put it there. That's a bit optimistic. Okay, there's the body. Okay, but it's only hitting the body of 2 of these candles here and here. Okay, so I'll bring it down a bit further. Maybe even bring it down to there, because there I've got lots of nice hits. Got a hit there. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all hit. Okay, perfect. Do that. Okay. So what you do when you're putting these lines on is you would put them on, okay, and say, okay, let's have a look at price and see what price did to the area. If it went to the area there, okay, which is even even lower. So it's the lower of these lows. Okay, but that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put it on there. And if you're considering a buy and you're considering a potential take profit level or where price may well go to, always use the pessimistic side. Never above, okay, never just around, but where does the price hit lots of different times, and where is it relevant? Okay, that's quite good. If we look a little bit lower, okay, so we look at this low, okay, see this low here and this low here, and you can see how price respected it all the way along, okay, and obviously price is just touching there, so that's kind of why I put it there. So again, you get used to where you're going to put it. Look at that. That's kind of where it should have been, there, at that point there. Then you go, okay, if price is going up, then where could it go to again? Where could it go to again? Okay, maybe this area here. Okay, and so on. So you get kind of used to it of price action and whether a trade is a good trade or not a good trade. Okay. And remember, we're still recovering from this manipulation here, so we're just waiting to see what's going to happen. But for now, so a quick scout through. So Euro USD, just flatlining, totally flatlining, nothing happening. And you can look at the WAD RTR, it's just flat, nothing happening there. GBP CAD, same as the Euro CAD. Again, we're still recovering from this manipulation, looking at potential highs, and where will price go? Well, in terms of the strategy, essentially we want it to come above the trend line to go above. Okay, so we'll just monitor that, see what happens. GBP USD, again, flatlining, pretty much flatlining. So we've got price coming down past this trend line, and again, if we're going to consider a buy, let me say again, if we're going to consider a sell, we want price to be below the trend line, okay, and also we've got an obstacle in the way, which is the pivot, and the next obstacle, which is the 62 moving average, and then we've got the imbalance, the bottom of the imbalance. So there's a lot of things in the way, okay, a lot of things to consider, okay. Probability stacks, the stacks of probability, okay. What could stop price going down is kind of what I think overall. Not where could price go and how nice would it be if, but what could potentially stop the price from coming down. And if you look at it right now, it's just on the pivot line, and it's bouncing off the pivot line, hitting the pivot, trying to come through. The pivot line is now a floor, okay. It's trying to get through the floor, and look at it, it's hit it perfectly. But the green trend line is resistance. The pivot is resistance in either direction. So let's just watch this for the next 2 minutes. And the thing is, how do you get experience of what price does? And it's just spending time on the charts. As much time as you can. And spend as much time as you can on demo account. So you're still bouncing off. It's trying to push through. It's pushed through a bit more, but it's still bouncing off. So what we've got here, we've got this channel, tiny channel. There, look. It might push through this way. It might push down this way. And what you can do as well is, rather than watching the charts all day, you can put alerts on. Okay, so if you've got a free copy of TradingView, I think you're limited to about one or two alerts, and you can set those alerts to come through to your phone or text message or whatever you want. Okay, usually I found that just leaving it on desktop and also bringing it through on your phone with an email is enough. Otherwise, just getting rings and that all day. Okay, but if you want it to come through, this is the imbalance. Okay, if we're looking at coming through, we could put an alert on the imbalance. Okay, we can put an alert on the horizontal ray. Okay, and just click that and just say, okay, let me know when the price comes down, or when it's crossing or moving down, or whatever's appropriate for what you want. Okay, and you can put a message in there. You can change it, you can alter this message, you can put whatever you want in there. Click on create, and it will let you know when price gets to this area. Let's see how it's in this channel. So this green trend line is resistance, and so is the pivot. So it's just going to bounce around. It's going to looks like it's going to do this for a bit, up and down. Okay, and it might try and push through, come back, and then maybe go to the upside, or it may well dance around, do the same thing, push through, come back, and then go to the downside. Okay, so you just got to be mindful of what price may or may not do. Right, there's not really much happening, so we'll call it a day at that. Let's say set your alerts, monitor the trades probably up until 5-6 o'clock UK time, because there are always trades to be had on this strategy. And we also trade 6 AM using this strategy, and also the 1 PM strategy as well. Anyway, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, then hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And also, if you got some value from this or any of the videos, give us a thumbs up, really appreciate that. And I will be on tomorrow, all going well, 6 AM. We'll see how it goes at 6 AM, and failing that, I'll be back at 1 PM tomorrow. All right, bye for now.